Hello and welcome to the Forever Cash Real Estate Life podcast, where we talk about how you can create cash flow for your life. Now, today I'm going to share with you a strategy that will help you, if implemented, to literally hit certain milestones on your path to retirement through cash flow. It's a very, very powerful concept that we call security plan, comfort plan, and luxury plan. So stay tuned and we start right now.
Welcome to the Forever Cash Life Real Estate Investing Podcast with your hosts, Jack and Michelle Bosch. Together, let's uncover the secrets to building true wealth through real estate and living a purpose-driven life.
All right, so here's the thing. Michelle and I started our business in 2002, right? The end of 2002, we got our first deal. Our first land deal, made $4,000, then we made $9,000, then we made on and on, made the first $1 million in 18 months. And then by October 2003, we both had quit our jobs. We went full-time. By January 2004, we hired our first people in there. By 2005, we started doing big land auctions, making lots and lots of income, right? And creating seller financing deals, creating cash flow coming into our door from all kinds of sides, from all sides. And it was absolutely amazing. But then came 2008 and 2009. When 2008 and 2009 came, and we transitioned our business model to the online business model that you now know from the Land Profit Generator, right? That everyone can replicate. We realized that some people were starting to pay off their loans, and we had to rebuild some of those loans. So we started looking at each other and saying like, well, what if we ever want to retire completely from anything we do and just want to go sail around the world, fly around the world, sit in the backyard looking at the plants grow, or whatever people do when they retire, right? I don't know exactly. So we looked at each other and we says like, well, we have cash from our flips, but if we retire, that cash will stop. We have cash flow, massive cash flow, that's going to give us stability for years to come, but eventually, 20 years from now, that cash flow will kind of end when all the land payments have run their course. So we needed to come up with another strategy to take all the profits that we're making from the land flip. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, we sold a property today. We sold a property yesterday, right? We continue doing land flips every day of the week here. But when we do these, it's just cash comes in. Now what we do with that cash, we move it into other strategies, into other asset classes, and we're doing that following this concept called the Security, Comfort, and Luxury Plan. And the Security, Comfort, and Luxury Plan is a strategy, is a tool that will keep your eyes on the ultimate freedom forever. So here's the situation. So in 2001, before we even started with this, Michelle and I bought our first starter home. Right? I bought a house. We got married. We moved into this house. We still own it. It's one of our rental houses. That house was about a 1,900 square foot house. Right? Normal run-of-the-mill kind of cookie-cutter home out there. The exact same house was 2 houses over, 3 houses over, and so on. And that house was 200 something square feet, and it was a nice house. It still is a nice house. Right? So we identified. Then we moved on from that. In 2006, we bought a big 4,000 square foot house, 43,000 square foot semi-custom home. It was amazing. But what we realized is that, as I just said, in around 2008-9, we realized that if we truly want to retire, we had what we call forever cash in our life. So no forever cash, no cash flow source that would spit out cash no matter what for the rest of our lives, for the rest of our daughter's life, for the rest of our daughter's kids' life, right? Forever. So we looked at that and we says like, well, if something happens to us right now in 2008 or 9, if something happens to us, we're going to have cash flow from the land deals coming and we have a bunch of money in the bank account and so on, but eventually this is going to stop. So we don't really have a true lifelong security plan in place. A lifelong security plan, in our definition, is a plan that means that if something happens to you, if the world comes to an end, right, and none of your strategies work anymore, if you have to stop working for health reasons, for whatever reasons, because somebody else in your family perhaps needs your assistance and your attention, you just cannot do anything anymore, that you have enough passive income in your life to pay your bills forever. Now, we identified 3 levels of that. The security level really means at a bare minimum. So do you have enough cash flow in your life to pay all your financial obligations on a bare minimum level for the rest of your life and ideally beyond your lifetime? The answer for most people, by the way, is no, right? I met a gentleman, has a $50 million asset, has 0 of that in place. $50 million, live in a $10 million house. By the way, living in a $10 million house probably costs you $150,000 to $200,000 a year just living in there. Between property taxes, which are very, very high, probably $50,000 to $100,000, between or $50,000 between cleaning and electricity and things like that, it easily costs probably like $100,000 to live in that house. So he was all paying for all of that with active income, had no true passive income. So again, security level passive income means the following. Means basically you live in a house of an average normal American size, right? So for example, our house that we no longer lived into, we already lived in the 4,300 square foot house, but we made a plan that basically says, well, if the world comes to an end and all our ability to produce income stops, what would we do? Well, on the security level point of that, we would have enough cash flow to live in our starter home, so we would move back into our starter home. Not that we wanted to, not that we did. It's a plan that you put into a bookshelf and into your drawer, but you work on implementing the financial means for that plan so that if that happens, you can implement the plan. It's an emergency plan, the security home, right? This is really an emergency plan, right? So we put into our emergency plan that we need to build up enough forever cash that pays for perhaps the property taxes and the mortgage or something on the 1,900 square foot house. Actually, it was 1,968 square feet house, to be exact. Then for it to pay for a normal car, one car, and I'm not talking about the Mercedes, I'm not talking about the Porsche, I'm talking about a Honda or Toyota, a regular car, right? Let's say a $15,000 car, 15K car with perhaps a $300 monthly payment. So that perhaps costs $300 a month. This one might be $1,200 a month, right? Or something like that, or perhaps $1,500 a month. And then if we do it in monthly payments, if we turn that into cash flow, so in other words, the question that we ask ourselves, how much cash flow do we need to have for the rest of our lives, monthly coming in, that if put comes to shove, we can afford this lifestyle? Now, get that. We were multimillionaires at that time already. But we didn't. We have cash flow of tens of thousands, $70,000, $80,000 a month coming into our bank account from land flipping. Right? But we had not turned that cash flow into truly forever cash. Right? This is a forever cash tool here. So we looked at that and said, okay, we need $1,500 a month for this. We need this for the car. We need probably another $1,000 for like insurances. Right? And that is health insurance, that is car insurance, and so on. $1,000 is probably enough for that. Then we need probably another $1,000 for miscellaneous stuff, right? Clothing and shopping and some repairs and things like that. And so we are now at $2,000, $3,500, $3,800. So let's say we add another $500 just for other miscellaneous stuff. That adds up to $4,300 a month. So we basically said, when we build up $4,300 a month, that's when we are truly, when we have the financial things in place that if put comes to shove, the world ends, we have no more income capabilities, we can live for the rest of our life this lifestyle. Not that we want to. We were already living this lifestyle, right? At that point, we're already over here. We're already between the comfort and the luxury lifestyle. We didn't have any intention of going back here, right? That's not the goal. The goal is to know that if something happens, you don't go all the way back to here. Because I see that all the time. When we teach our Land Profit Generator live events, there's people come up to the stage to me that say, Jack, 20 years ago, I had $5 million in the bank. I owned all this kind of stuff. I lost it all. Today, I can't even afford your Land Profit Generator program. You know, That's what people come up to me when I go speak somewhere and so on. This is a method to make sure that this does not happen to you. At the same time, it's a method to really show you how you can set your eyes on this or set your eyes on this and just chip away at the goals and move your goal line further and further and implement it. So what did we do? We had all this cash coming in. We're sitting on like 7 figures in the bank. We're sitting money coming in. So what did we do? We started buying rental houses. The benefit was, it was 2009. Rental houses were way cheap, right? We could buy them for $25,000, $30,000. So we bought rental houses, each of them renting for like $900, no mortgage. We bought them cash. So even after subtracting all the expenses that I always talk about, like property management and property taxes and repairs and vacancies, we were still making about $500 a house. And within a matter of 9 months, we bought about 10 houses, right? 10 houses. And we had about $5,000 a month in cash flow coming in, meaning we had exceeded this goal. We had our security plan in place. Now, obviously, if you don't have that kind of money sitting on the sideline, what you want to do, if your active income is what supports you right now, you're going to get onto the path, right? Or you're going to get onto the plan of putting money off to the side, investing that money, investing in yourself, so that you know how to make more money, right? And then make more money, generate more, do land flips, right? Do land seller financing, create more money, and then go invest that in ways that you can bring in more cash flow for yourself for the rest of your life, right? So then, but in our case, we were able to do that with just 10 houses, at $5,000 a month. This was in place. Now, does that mean we moved back into our old house? Of course not, right? But guess what? We were living in our 4,300 square foot house, which is really more the upper end of this year because it's semi-custom home, wet bar, pool, jacuzzi, you name it. And we were already, this is almost like on the luxury side here, like border of comfort and luxury side already. But we had no intention moving back. But you know what? We slept better over here, knowing that if push comes to shove, we're not going to poverty. This is already in place. And then guess what? Now you define what is your comfort plan. What is it that you need in life to live a very comfortable lifestyle? Now, a very comfortable lifestyle might now include a 3,000 square foot house, right? Might include a square foot house, might include 2 cars, and one of them might be the Mercedes already, right? Not the Lamborghini yet. Lamborghini's in the luxury plan, right? Ferrari's in the luxury plan. The 7,000 square foot custom home is in the luxury plan, right? Here it's like, perhaps it includes 2 vacations a year, right? And with the family, not business or first class, but 2 vacations a year. One perhaps even to Hawaii, one in the country, things like that on the mainland, and so on. So you come up with a conclusion, how much does this cost? Well, perhaps that mortgage payment is $4,000 a month, right? Perhaps these 2 cars cost $1,000 a month. Perhaps the 2 vacations can be done with also $1,000 a month. $12,000 a year should be enough to do 2 vacations, I would think, right? And then perhaps another $3,000 in miscellaneous stuff. So now we are at $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $9,000. $9,000 a month is what you need to live a really comfortable lifestyle. Now, think about that. Most people think about the lifestyle, I gotta be 10, they have this number in mind that's like, I need to have $10 million. No, you need to make $9,000 a month, and you can live in a house that costs you $4,000 a month with 2 cars, with 2 vacations, and an extra $3,000 just for spending money or insurance and things like that. Isn't that enough? It's probably enough. So now how do you do that? Well, guess what? A total of 20 houses will do that for you at $500. At $500 a month. So that becomes the goal. The goal is not $10 million. The goal becomes 20 houses. Or the goal becomes, in this case, you can invest in apartment complexes too, right? So we have now investors that invest with us in our apartment complexes. They're getting a 15% return per year on average over the time period. Now, not all of that they get in cash flow right now. They get about a 6 or 7% cash flow and then the rest is appreciation of the property. But overall, the thing is, again, you don't need to live off this right now. You continue doing what you're doing. You continue land flipping. You continue selling land with seller financing. You continue in your job and getting your income and things like that. But as you put this in place, when you have put this in place, when this is in place, you're living the life of already the top 10% people in the United States, which puts you into the probably the 1% of the world. And then everything else is really gravy. What is your luxury plan? Is your luxury plan having your own jet, like Grant Cardone, right? Is your luxury plan having a Lamborghini and a Ferrari and having 8 cars? Is your luxury plan to give $500,000 a year to your charity or support your local church, right? Whatever that is, but don't focus on it as a goal of like, I need $50 million. No. Your goal is add up what you need to make per month in order to do that. So if perhaps your luxury plan is at $30K a month, right? $30,000 a month, $360,000 a year net income, then that should probably for most people allow you to live very nice. Or perhaps it's $50,000 a year. You decide that, but you add what it is. Perhaps it's the $7,000 square foot the house that now is an $8,000 mortgage, right? Perhaps it's the Porsche and the Mercedes and the Lambo. Perhaps it costs another $4,000. Perhaps it's $3,000 a month for vacations, right? I mean, it's crazy stuff. Whatever comes to your mind. Perhaps it's $3,000 a month for charity, right? And you add this all up. But the key to get there is not to some crazy number. I got to make $50 million. I got to make $50 million because most people don't make $50 million in their lifetime. But everyone can add one investment at a time. One investment at a time, and another one, and another one, and another one, and create that trajectory that goes over here, and that somewhere in this process here brings you to complete financial freedom. Because most people, somewhere here in the middle, are completely financially free. They don't even need anything in their life anymore. Then it becomes only your wants. And then you decide, is it worth it continuing? Are you enjoying your life so much? Like, we are living somewhere here right now, and we keep going because we love real estate. We love teaching this. So I don't have a reason to stop. Yes, we slow down, but I believe my last real estate deal will be done probably 2 weeks before I die, right? And that's hopefully when I'm like in my 100 plus years old. So I'm planning to do this for the rest of my life, but this becomes your overall goal. This becomes your life, your financial life map, because everything you do financially is ultimately therefore feeding this machine and providing more and more and more abundance of your lifetime. But if you don't define what is the minimum you can live on, if put comes to shove, what is the amount that you're comfortable with it, and what is the luxury amount, chances are you're never going to go into those places. And I can tell you when we started doing this, within 9 months or 10 months, we put this in place. That was a major point in our life. Because it takes the pressure off. It takes the financial pressure off your life. It takes everything that you're like, oh my God, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep going. No, you don't have to keep going. If you want, you can stop right now if this is in place. If this is something that you are happy with living with, then you can stop. And for the rest of your life, you're financially free. Or if it's here, you keep going. And once this is in place, you're done. You're completely done. With 2 vacations a year, 2 cars, a nice house and so on, you're done. And if you want to keep going, you keep going. It's then only up to you, but the financial pressures are out of your life. This is a map towards it. So take the things that you think belong in each of these categories, attach a monthly cost to them, add them up, and that becomes your goal. All right, so with that, I hope you enjoyed that. That was the conclusion of this podcast episode. If you enjoyed this, if you're watching this on YouTube, hopefully give us a thumbs up. Put your comments, put your questions below. We're happy to answer them. We love seeing your questions. Share this with others. If you listen to this on iTunes, give us a 5-star review, right? Give us the 5 stars and leave a message underneath. I watch them. I see them. It helps us get more reach. Share our podcast, the Forever Cash Life Real Estate Podcast, with us. And then also, most importantly, pay attention to Michelle Bosch. Michelle, the co-founder of this business, the co-founder of this thing, she's actually coming out with a book later on this year where where this piece takes a central role of it. because this is a crucial part of you defining, of you really planning out your financial freedom for yourself and for your family. So follow her podcast. It's the Inflow Podcast with Michelle Bosch. And she'll talk about that in that podcast too. And then make sure you go to michellebosch.com, opt in over there, and to stay tuned when her podcast things come out and when she talks about this concept. It's a wonderful, wonderful concept. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Enjoyed this episode? Then make sure you like, subscribe, and post your comments and questions below the video. We're looking forward to hearing from you.